You should be able to see on my screen here. And so under quick links, the RSS economics feed, you can scroll down and see these things, and see all these different news stories that are there. Okay. And so there's a lot of stories out there that we can look at, that we can talk about, that you can think about. And so you do want to think about the economic implications, of really any of these stories. Sports return quickly, only if fans prohibited. And so Fauci was talking about an abbreviated baseball season and starting football, but would fans be able to be a part of that? And so as economic students, we can approach this a little bit differently. We can think about it not from the perspective of a fan, oh, I miss baseball, but rather from the perspective of an economist and thinking about how this impacts different groups. But what about the people who work the concessions at the stadiums? They are not getting that work. But that could also go into manufacturing. When it comes to bats and balls and stuff like that. Those are all things that we could think about. So now we're thinking about the supply side. Does this coronavirus stuff change our taste in things? So that would be a demand side issue. So as you think about those kinds of things, asking certain questions about those things, and you say, okay, well, if it's a demand side, then maybe that's a shifting demand curve. And so if the demand curve shift, what are the implications that I'm going to have with that, right? Those are the kinds of things that we think about as economists. If you go to, again, my website and you go to classes and you go to economics, this one, we actually did spend a lot of time putting it together for you guys. For example, if you click on topics under the fundamentals category, these are all of the topics for economics as a social science. And it basically has, what exactly a student is supposed to learn. Econ is a little bit more straightforward when it comes to that kind of stuff than, say, history. So explain that economics is a social science, outline the social scientific method, so on and so forth. Explain that scarcity exists because factors of production are finite and wants are infinite. So it has all of these things for the fundamentals section. And then the micro section is, of course, humongous. And I may reorder. Okay, so here's the macroeconomics one. And so you can see the level of overall economic activity. And so the 3 bullet points: the circular flow of income, measures of economic activity, short-term fluctuations, and long-term trends. These are things that, again, you can learn yourself. If you'll go in and look at these bullet points and say, okay, I need to be able to understand what short-run equilibrium is. I need to understand what equilibrium in the monetarist or new classical model actually is. Think about those bullet points like that, then those become kind of the things you're searching for and the stuff that you're ultimately looking for in the text and that you're ultimately trying to ask questions about and find answers for. You don't have to wait on the cognitive assignment. You don't have to wait on me. You can just go in and start looking at those bullet points and start